Most people assume intelligence is fixed, measured once and locked in forever. But psychology tells a very different story. What if some everyday habits aren't harmless quirks but signals of how efficiently the brain processes information? And what if these habits are far more common than expected? Psychology and neuroscience reveal that intelligence often shows up in small, repeatable behaviors. In this video, daily habits linked to lower cognitive efficiency are broken down without judgment and with context. Some of these patterns might feel uncomfortably familiar. Stay till the end. The final insight challenges how intelligence is usually defined. Constantly switching between tasks feels productive, but psychology reveals the opposite. Studies indicate that frequent task switching overloads working memory and weakens attention control. The brain burns energy resetting focus instead of processing deeply. If this habit feels familiar, it actually suggests the mind is seeking stimulation, not lacking motivation. The real issue is reduced cognitive efficiency, not effort. Like a browser with too many tabs open, performance slows. But here's what most people miss. Attention can be trained, and this pattern is reversible. Another daily behavior often hides in plain sight. Consistently choosing easy, familiar activities over challenging ones signals something interesting. Research shows that low engagement with cognitive strain reduces neural growth over time. The brain follows a use it or lose it rule. If complex tasks are often postponed, it actually reflects discomfort with uncertainty, not a lack of ability. Millions fall into this pattern without realizing its impact. The fascinating part is that mental effort strengthens intelligence the same way resistance builds muscle. And that connects directly to how curiosity works. Psychology reveals that curiosity fuels cognitive development. People who rarely ask why or how tend to build fewer mental models of the world. Studies suggest this limits problem-solving flexibility. If this habit appears, it often means the brain prioritizes certainty over exploration. That preference feels safe, but it narrows learning. Here's the deeper reason. Curiosity activates dopamine pathways that reinforce intelligence growth. Now consider how information itself is handled. Automatically trusting headlines, authority figures, or first explanations reflects a cognitive shortcut. Behavioral psychology calls this reduced critical filtering. Research shows that questioning information strengthens analytical reasoning. If this habit shows up, it actually means the brain is conserving energy, not failing. Thinking critically takes effort. But here's what's surprising. Skepticism, when balanced, is a strong marker of intelligence. Another habit shows up during conversations. Frequently talking over others or planning responses instead of listening is linked to weaker processing depth. Studies indicate that active listening requires working memory, impulse control, and empathy. If this habit feels familiar, it often signals mental impatience, not arrogance. The mind is racing ahead. What most people miss is that strong listeners tend to score higher on cognitive and emotional intelligence measures. Now for a behavior that looks harmless. Routines are useful, but psychology shows that rigid, unexamined habits reduce adaptability. When days run on autopilot, the brain forms fewer new connections. If this pattern exists, it actually means the mind values efficiency over flexibility. Here's the twist. Intelligence thrives on variation. Small changes challenge neural pathways and improve problem solving. The final habit goes deeper than behavior. Quick emotional reactions, especially in minor situations, are linked to lower cognitive regulation. Neuroscience shows that the prefrontal cortex, responsible for reasoning, needs time to engage. If reactions come fast, it often means emotional systems are leading. But this matters. Emotional regulation is a key component of functional intelligence. Pausing, even briefly, changes outcomes dramatically. These habits aren't character flaws. Psychology reveals their patterns, signals of how the brain currently manages energy, attention, and emotion. Intelligence isn't just raw IQ, it's adaptability, curiosity, and regulation. If any of these behaviors felt familiar, that recognition itself is a cognitive strength. Awareness opens the door to growth. If this breakdown was valuable, subscribe for weekly psychology insights that help decode behavior and intelligence in everyday life. The next video explores habits that quietly signal high intelligence, and most people never notice them.